So, what do I want? I want to be more productive and I want to be more successful. No, always. I want to be more successful in the business. I want to be more successful in triathlon, sporting career, general career, etc, etc. I want to be a better teacher, tutor. But things get in your way, and I want to explain what my mechanisms are, what my kind of strategies are in order to be more successful, be more productive. Because at the end of the day, I get dissatisfaction and disappointment out of not being able to do what I want to be able to do. And I'm sure that's the same for other people. Today we're going to talk about habits of successful people and how I've managed to implement some of those habits and enable me to do the things that I want to do in the most kind of successful way that I know how. Mindfulness. And look, I'm not one of these people who actively practices mindfulness. I think that I do it naturally without thinking throughout the day in different periods, and I've got my little things such as making a coffee that I practice mindfulness in without actually thinking about it. And mindfulness is being in the moment, actually concentrating on the task and enjoying the experience and taking in the kind of smells, the sounds, the taste, etc, etc. Being in that moment takes you away from all of the surrounding noise. Stop trying to do everything perfectly. And I keep on harping on about this to my students. If you keep on trying to do everything perfectly, you'll stop yourself from progressing. You get so ingrained in the moment and not being able to see past the piece of work that you're doing, and it just stunts your progress. If you're able to stop doing everything perfectly and just produce a piece of work and just produce, then you're going to get better every single time, and nothing's ever perfect, so stop trying to do it perfectly. Stop trying to do everything, full stop. I've experienced a few people who try and do this, and it's just too much. You can't physically do everything, so don't try. I've probably fell into the trap of trying to do it before, but you've got to know when to say no. And I've gotten a lot better at it, to be honest. I won't do things that I don't want to do. If someone asks me to do something and I don't really want to do it, then I'll just be like, oh, sorry, I don't have time for that. And that way it just gives you a little bit of peace of mind and enables you to do the things that you want to do and focus on the things that you want to focus on. And that brings me on to scheduling it in. Make sure that you have a rough schedule, whether it be in the calendar. I tend to be pretty rigorous with my schedule, and I actually have a pretty set routine, which I've mentioned before. Like, I do the same things pretty much day in, day out, but it's all scheduled in. I've gotten to the point now where I don't have to schedule as much because I just know that routine. I know what I'm doing at certain points throughout the day, and it just comes naturally. Whereas if you're trying to set out a schedule for yourself, make sure that you actually plan it in the calendar or a planner or whatever kind of means that you want to do it in your phone. And that gives you that structure throughout the day. It gives you what you're meant to be doing, when you're meant to be doing it, and you just stick to it. And that brings me on to decision fatigue. It reduces decision fatigue. Decision fatigue is basically the fatigue that you get from having to make all of those decisions. And it's a great way of mitigating that tiredness or emotional stress that you have from wanting to do something, not knowing whether you should be doing it, and trying to schedule it into your day. It just reduces the need for that extra thinking and allows you to think about other things that you want to. So finally, make a plan, stick to it. How simple of a piece of advice is that? Just have a plan, stick to that plan, and that could be a weekly plan, daily plan, whatever kind of plan. Just make it, stick to it. It gives me more time in the day to do the things that I want to do, because the the tasks that need to be done are all scheduled in. So they've got that set allotted amount of time, the focus is there for that period, and then I've got the rest of the day or the rest of the time to do the fun things, do more with my time than what I would have otherwise, because you're spending time decision fatiguing or whatever it may be. This routine allows you to be more consistent and therefore get the job done, more volume, more work, and essentially allows you to improve, allows you to perform better, and ultimately achieve that goal that you're setting out to achieve. At the end of the day, these are things that have helped me throughout architecture and triathlon, and I implement all of them on a day-to-day basis. Like even now, I think I've shown the students numerous times my planning schedule in Notion or whatever it may be. It's all well and good me giving this advice, but please, if any of it resonates, or if anyone actually struggles with these things and thinks that they're good ideas and they get value out of it, then actually implement it. It's one thing listening to this information, it's another thing actually using it. But if you have got any value out of this video and you do start implementing things, consider subscribing. It helps me out, helps the channel out, and yeah.